What up, guys? All right, so I know I've been promising you guys this for close to 3 weeks now. So just gonna kind of run through what I do on occasion to do some bulk cooking. This isn't kind of breakfast and things like the dinner. I usually cook as I'm eating or as I'm going to eat it. But some of the stuff that I'll do during work or I'll take with me or when I'm out, I kind of do in bulk because it saves a lot of time. If you do it this way, you'll notice that the cooking times will actually be fairly quick because you're cooking so much of it, and you won't have to take an hour here, an hour there out of your day to do this for you during that meal or during that time. So I'm gonna kind of run through what I've been doing. I buy things like eggs and chicken breast and different type of beef cuts in bulk because first of all, it's more inexpensive that way, and two, you get more for your dollar basically. So, anyways, losing my train of thought. Um, Kind of have right now the some chicken defrosting. As you can see, it's about 11 chicken breasts or so. In order to save time and not make this one of my 30-minute videos, I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of cut and paste kind of what I'm doing. So I'm gonna defrost some chicken breast. I have a pot full of water that we're gonna turn on high here. That boil. That's gonna be our pasta, and then I'm gonna get the rice cooker ready, and we're gonna be doing some brown rice as well. And hopefully here, once this thaws out, we're gonna be kind of chopping up the chicken breast. And what else, guys? What else? Chopping up the chicken breast and getting a little bit of seasoning on it, just a little bit. We're gonna be just showing you guys kind of a couple different seasonings I do, and then we'll throw it on the grill. Let's see, that's what we got. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. I'm gonna get some of this stuff prepped up and see you guys in a little bit. What up, guys? All right, we're back. Got the rice cleaned up. It's about 3 cups of rice. This is another thing that I do buy in bulk. That's a short grain brown rice. Kind of, I prefer it over the long grain only. Not because of any nutritional values really. It's more so the texture and kind of, it's a little drier I feel than some of the other ones, and I actually enjoy it. If you've ever had things like payway or whoops, if you ever had anything like payway or what else? PF Chang's the higher end one. Same thing. It's a little drier, but I actually enjoy the taste of it a lot more. I actually like the taste of it just by itself. You can try changing up the combination, adding something like chicken broth or letting it cook with something like that. But I actually just enjoy it with water. And here I have about 3 cups of rice, and we're going to be adding about 3.5 cups of water, give or take. Usually recommends a little bit more water, but to be honest, I actually like my rice a little drier. And even when I'm taking it with me and I might re-warm it up with a microwave or whatever, I end up getting a texture that I enjoy. So you might have to play with that a little bit to kind of get the texture or the look that you're looking for, or the taste that you're looking for, not the look. So we're gonna pop this bad boy into the rice cooker, and I highly suggest one of these if you guys do a lot of rice. It makes your life easier. You just kind of drop it in, click the button, and you kind of walk away from it until it's done. Our water has started boiling here, and so I've added a little bit of oil, very little. I mean, literally, probably nothing worth mentioning as far as the macros go. And I had a mix of, what we have here? Some, what do we have here? Basically, we have this bad boy, and then we also have these guys and the penne. Can't find what the hell these are called. But anyways, that's what it is. It's got a mix of them. It's about a little bit over a cup, give or take. About a cup and a half. And we're going to let those bad boys sit down. Let them cook. This will actually cook rather quickly. These will go about 20-25 minutes. They'll be done. And so we're going to wait for that to cook, the rice to cook, and then the chicken's almost thawed out. And so once the chicken's thawed out, we're going to start cutting it up, taking off some of the excess fat and all that junk off the edges, cutting some through the nerves or muscles that are in there. Not muscles, but the nerves that are in there that I kind of don't enjoy eating. and then we'll warm up the grill, and that's what we'll be, guys. So we'll see you guys in a little bit. All right, guys, we're back. The pasta's done cooking. I kind of drained some of the water already, a little bit of it because it was over spilling. Turn it off. Make sure you turn it off. The texture is actually pretty good. Make sure you check the texture before you actually think it's done. So what we're gonna do now is drain it, and we are going to actually see how I can work this. Hold on. We're actually going to rinse it in some cold water, as you should with most pastas. Multitasking here. Only have one hand. All right, so put this aside, and we are going to rinse this in cold water. So you can see the chicken breast is defrosted, kind of looking good now. So we're just gonna trim it up here in a little bit, and then the rice is still cooking. You'll notice that the rice actually takes a very long time to cook. At least it does in my rice cooker. It's roughly 45 minutes, an hour or so. But that's 3 cups of brown rice, so keep that in mind. So give yourself plenty of time for that. But I mean, literally, in that time, you kind of finish doing most of this. So we're gonna finish this off, let this rinse off here. And then we're going to put some of the stuff in Tupperware, but we're gonna cut this meat up next. So see you guys in a little bit. All right, guys, here's all the chicken breast. Good old-fashioned chicken breast. Gotta love chicken, right? Cutting board, so we're gonna set it up here. Hopefully that's not too bad, and then we'll get some cuts in here. There's about, like I mentioned, 12 chicken breasts, so it's gonna take me a while. So I'll probably cut some of these bad boys out and see how it goes. I don't know how the lighting is here, so if you notice there's a lot of fat in the edgings here, I'll usually trim that up. Some fat on this edgings every once in a while. All fat here, trim all that off. And most chicken breasts will have, it's actually, you can really see it, nerves here, all that good stuff. So I'll usually trim all that off, especially this area. If you notice it's not, regular meat. This is all kind of nerves and cartilage and all that other good junk. So we can get rid of all that. So trim this up real quick. Make sure you get a really good sharp knife. I mean, that's gonna make the difference between this taking you 10 minutes or this taking you an hour. So an hour is probably a pretty good exaggeration. But a good sharp knife is gonna do a lot of great things for you here, because it's gonna save you a lot of time. Here's the edgings. I heard this rule a while ago where somebody mentioned, they have a 50% rule. So if it's got less than 50% meat when you're trying to cut off all this fat, then you take it off. If it's more than 50% meat, then you gotta, trim back a little bit. Kind of makes sense to me. You also don't want to lose all of your meat here when you're trimming it up. So here's some of these nerves. I should really love this knife. It's actually pretty easy to cut with it. So if you notice here, all of this good stuff will make it not as fun to eat when you're eating it. So usually what I'll do is I'll trim it under, do this, and you get a good chunk of that stuff off. And so it's all good meat there. A little bit more here. You're never gonna be able to get everything, but I'm a little picky when it comes to my meat. Insert joke there. I'm a little picky when it comes to it. I mean, I like to enjoy the food, and I think my enjoyment kind of goes out the window when I'm eating something and then you get a tough spot. I mean, I've always been like that. Maybe it's just something I got when I was little, but just never enjoyed any of that stuff. So that's a pretty good chicken breast there. And what I've been doing lately to speed up cooking times is actually cutting it in half. So I usually place the blade halfway. Be careful if you're doing this at home, if you're not used to this. Good sharp knife will be able to get this pretty quick. And so this bad boy splits in half. And so you notice when I dump these bad boys in the grill, they look like kind of I don't know, some weird little half heart, or a heart really. And that'll really speed up cooking times because the cut is now, you know, half of what it used to be, especially in the thicker sections. You'll notice when you're cooking them, this section will cook really quickly, while this will take a lot longer. You know, this will stay juicier, and if you're trying to keep this really well done, this will end up kind of charring a bit, especially at the edges. So I end up kind of doing this, and you know, it really speeds up cooking times. I think I'll be able to do all these. You know, it also depends on the grill, but I'll be able to do all these 11 breasts in, you know, 10 minutes or so, 20 minutes, as I'm caressing the chicken breast as I'm talking to you guys. Alright guys, so I'm going to cut the rest of these up, get them in a little Ziploc bag, and then I'll take out some spices and we'll go warm up the grill. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Alright guys, so we got the 12 or 11 chicken breasts, I lost count, in a little bag here ready to go at room temperature. They're good to go. I'm just going to warm up the grill here, but as you can see, the rice is kind of cooking. You can see the steam here a little bit, so that bad boy's going. I went ahead and put the pasta in Tupperware, and that'll be closed up here once in a second, and we'll throw it in the fridge. Make sure that you invest in some Tupperware. You know, some things that I suggest that people kind of invest in is Tupperware and a rice cooker if you're going to see yourself eating some rice often enough. It saves you a lot of hassle of doing it yourself, because you have to, you know, you don't have to go sit and kind of stand by a pot making sure it doesn't overflow or any of that good stuff. Some of the seasonings we're going to be using here today is some black pepper, regular ground, or if you want to do the one where you grind it yourself. Italian seasoning, if you like it. I actually enjoy this a lot just with regular black pepper. Chili powder, I'll mix it up. I'll add that every once in a while, and some lemon pepper. You know, you're not going to mix this with regular pepper unless you really like pepper. We're going to be doing a couple different flavors on the grill, just kind of throwing the spices on as it's grilling. You know, that way you don't get tired of the same chicken breast every single time, and we'll kind of mix that up. There's also the little pre-packets that you probably see at your grocery store that are kind of seasonings already. A lot of those you have to mix with water and oil, so keep in mind that that's going to affect your macros if you decide to do that. And also, really look at the ingredients list. If it isn't just kind of basic ingredients, it probably has a little bit more than needs to kind of go in your diet. This is kind of what I'll be doing. I'm going to go cook up or warm up the grill, and we'll see you guys in a little bit. All right, guys. All right, guys, we're back at the grill. Everything's been cleaned, scrubbed, and re-oiled, and it's good temperature here. So we're going to start laying some of these chicken breasts, and then we're going to start seasoning them. So what I'll usually do is lay them and then opening them out a little bit. Okay, good contact patch, and there we go. Can't be afraid to get dirty every once in a while. As you can see from my grill, I need to clean it, use it probably a little too often. Now, some of you guys might say, hey, you know, I don't have a grill, or I can't kind of do this in bulk. Before I got this, which by the way was a lovely present from the girlfriend, before I had this, I actually was using a George Foreman, and I always recommend people to always get the family size Foreman, only because, trust me, you're going to need it, whether you're grilling chicken or steak, or you're just grilling some veggies on it. It's always great to have the extra size to it. And so I have a Foreman that I have at home, or well, here in the kitchen, but you know, I only bust that out whenever I have to do a quick meal or things like that. For big jobs like this, when I'm cooking in bulk, it's easier to have a larger grill because it puts out a lot more heat. And so that's kind of my suggestion to you guys. Uh-oh, we're running out of room. That's kind of my suggestion. And final major chicken breast here. Until it's warm, the moment it touches the grill, you can see the white marks on it. That's what she said. Alright guys, enough with the jokes before I get some angry comments. Alright, here we go. So, let me wash my hand real quick, and then we'll be right back. Alright guys, as you can see, they're cooking up pretty quick. And so what I'll usually do is throw some pepper, I'm a big pepper fan. Let's see here. Some pepper. A couple of these bad boys are going to do Italian seasoning. And I actually marinate both sides. So, it's probably good on that one. Do a couple of some chili powder. And then do some lemon pepper on a couple of them here. So you gotta mix it up a little bit, you know, depends on what your taste is like, but I'll tell you this right now, if you don't mix up your diet a little bit, you're definitely going to get tired of the food really quickly. And I'm really hoping that I remember which ones I did what with. Really am, because otherwise I'm gonna have some funky chicken breasts. But anyways, that's that. I would have them all on low heat, because, you know, we did the half cuts on these guys. And we'll come back in about 5 minutes or so and then flip them. So see you guys in a little bit. Sweet guys, alright, so I managed to get this. You might have heard of the beeping here a second or two. And so that beeping means that, at least for this rice cooker, that the rice is done. So my suggestion is this. The rice still needs to cook for about 10 more minutes. So leave it in the rice cooker, do not open it, don't do anything. Just leave it in there for another 10 minutes or so. Maybe a little bit more if you like it drier. Let it cook, because it still cooks for a little bit more after that. If you don't do that, I've made this mistake, trust me, many times. You'll notice that your rice will actually be kind of pasty, almost like a dough, and you really don't want that. So leave it in there for another 10 minutes, and then we'll get back to that afterwards, and then we'll kind of start steaming some vegetables onto it, and I'll explain why I do that in 2 seconds. All right, here we go, guys. Literally, probably about 2 minutes later. You can see I probably waited a little bit too long. These areas are charring here. Flip them here. And re-seasoning. Alright, and closing it back again. Alright guys, that's about what 12 chicken breasts look like. You know, I like the char marks, and I like a little bit more of a well-cooked chicken breast, but I've noticed that, you know, if I overcook them, they dry out, especially when I'm reheating them. So I tend to leave them a little bit, you know, I tend to leave them a little bit, rarer, I guess, but I mean, they're fully cooked. I think I just prefer a crunchy kind of texture to my chicken breast. Here we have the pasta all ready for the fridge, and it's been about 10 minutes. So we're gonna open up the rice here. Uh-oh, good stuff there. And brown rice, guys. What I usually do is mix up this bad boy, make sure everything's kind of loosened up, and we'll be putting this into a Tupperware here in about 2 seconds. And we're going to be cooking some steamed vegetables on this. And this has a dual system, so I was able to do that. We kind of just use this little rack here. Now, this is originally designed to be able to do both at once. Both cook the rice and steamed vegetables. The problem with that I've noticed is that, you know, you have to open it up, drop the vegetables in, let them cook, and then open it back up to remove the vegetables once they're cooked, because of course they're going to cook a lot faster than this rice is. As you could tell, it's taking about an hour or so. And so the problem with that is that, you know, once you open it, the rice doesn't come out the same once it's been kind of opened, and you know, the air around here has kind of got into, I cannot freaking talk today. Once the air has kind of gotten in here and disturbed the actual temperature of the cooking, it just kind of destroys the rice itself. The texture is completely wrong and just quite gross. I went through a lot of trial runs to find out why my rice was kind of a little too pasty, and it's kind of it. And so as you notice, the texture of this rice is pretty good. Just just like any other rice, you can kind of compact it. It's in. It's still kind of very moist right now, and so if this isn't the texture you're looking for, just be aware that it will kind of dry up a little bit. This is not bad. So it will dry up. Especially this bottom area that was the most moist will dry up a little bit. And so it'll all kind of have the pay whey style kind of dryness. If that's not your thing, then you might want to add more water. That's just how I enjoy the rice itself. And so we're going to get this out of here, put it in some Tupperware, and let it cool down, because you don't want to put any of this stuff into the fridge while it's still hot. It just disturbs the properties of the food. So we're going to get that done and throw in some vegetables, and then that should be kind of one of the last things we do. I'm going to show you guys how I prepare the food for the week now that it's cooked and made, and then what will save you some time. So let's get next step going, guys. We'll see you guys in a little bit. All right, guys, we're back. This is about how much rice we ended up getting out of it. That's a decent amount of rice. I mean, if you really think about it, pasta, rice, and rice is a lot of carbs for the week. So just keep that in mind. The chicken breasts are still cooling, which we'll be dealing with here in a little bit. And here's the vegetables. I usually buy this at Costco. I don't know if you guys have the availability to kind of buy stuff in bulk. I highly suggest it if you're going to be doing a very high calorie diet. Usually buy these bags. I mean, they're pretty inexpensive, and you're getting a pretty decent chunk for what you're paying for in reality. And so usually what I'll do is I'll put the tray in here, make sure it clears a little spout here, and then seal it. 23, 24 minutes, give or take, and they'll be pretty good. I mean, not overly done, but done to the point where they're pretty good texture. I could eat them that way, but also give me a little leeway because I'm going to also be microwaving these later on when I'm at work or out and about. So I'm going to leave this to cook. Let the chicken breast cool. Once the chicken breasts are cool, I'm going to set it up so we can kind of trim these down and split them up for the work week. And we're good to go, guys. So we're almost done here for the day, and hopefully we're able to get this video under 15 minutes. I'm sure we can do it. So we'll see you guys in a little bit. All right, guys, we're back. Kind of cut up the chicken here in strips, which allows me to really get basically everything is easy to eat format, and I could just kind of take it along with me, kind of invest in some Tupperware. We're going to put this in Tupperware, let it cool down, then go to